what's up, guys? So, this is Christina.
Hi.
Christina is into marketing. You can call her an entrepreneur of sorts. So, I just thought it would be a good idea to get some insight into someone that's been doing this for a while. For any of you guys out there who are wanting to get into anything, wanting to be an entrepreneur in any way, shape, or form. So, Christina, what would you say would be the top 3 attributes you need to have to be a good entrepreneur? Let's speak loudly.
Yeah, got you. Hi guys. So again, I'm Christina and my business is called Creative Edge. I do marketing and I also train entrepreneurs. 3 attributes. I think that the first one would be empathy. The whole notion of understanding people's needs and being able to solve those needs creatively. So the second attribute would be creativity. Having an open enough mind to be able to come up with solutions that nobody has thought of before. That gives you an edge, right? And then I would say, this one is interesting. The last attribute, it's so many things I'm trying to put it in one. But it's a strong sense of self-belief. Yes, that's it wrapped into one. So that self-belief, it doesn't mean that you're arrogant. It doesn't mean that you think you know everything and you're not going to listen to everybody. It just means that
it's just that sense of motivation that you give yourself instead of needing like an external factor to keep you going.
And it's also, you need the self-belief because business is really, really hard. And if you don't believe in yourself that you can achieve this thing, it's not going to happen. Business is so hard. But when you tell people all the time, entrepreneurship will break you down and build you back up if you stay in it long enough for that to happen. It teaches you so many lessons about yourself, about the world, about people, it teaches you so many lessons, and if you stay in it long enough, you become a better person as a result. If you allow it to mold you and make you better, and if you are open to the lessons that it will teach you, you become out better on the other side. Man, Joby, that's so funny.
Joby, oh my gosh, pages. Anyway, all right. So Christina, on the second point of you were talking about creativity, I find that that's a very big thing for a lot of people who are producing content, or even people who are being entrepreneurs, having their own business, that kind of thing, because you need that creativity to attract people to your business. So my thing is, how do you keep those creative juices flowing? Because there's burnout, and some people burn out super quickly. Some take a few years, but it's inevitable. You reach that point. So what can you do to pace yourself, but also just keep those creative juices flowing? Like, how do you inspire yourself? Are there exercises you do to keep the mind going in a sense of on a creative level? Like, what do you do? What can people do to keep that level of creativity up?
I got you. First thing I would say is that burnout is so real that I myself, although I am a creative in terms of I do creative work, I am still afraid of being a creative entrepreneur. I'm still even afraid of the label creative, because that quest to continuously do creative things and do exceptionally creative things, it's a lot of pressure, So being a creative for a living is really hard, and the thing I would say to get around it is self-care. So self-care looks different for a lot of people. It could be, so for me, it's taking in the sunset. I love sunsets so much. I'm a nature person, but I think it's key to find what makes you feel at peace, what makes you feel level, and just, what makes you feel balanced and okay as a person. Find what that is and make sure you incorporate it into every single day. So may not be, there's some things that you can do every single day, and there are other things that you would do every week. But the important thing is to not think that self-care means that you're not doing your work or that you're slacking. No, self-care is so important for you to be able to do your work that we need to prioritize it more and stop feeling guilty for taking part in self-care. You know, we gotta take care of ourselves and take care of our brains, take care of our bodies if we're gonna do great work. So self-care.
Okay, so along with the whole self-care thing to keep creativity flowing, what is your opinion on collaborating with other entrepreneurs? Do you think it's necessary? Do you think it helps you to grow? Like, what are the benefits or what are the downsides to doing something like that?
That's a good question. I think that collaboration is really necessary as an entrepreneur. There's so many benefits, like you get exposed to a new perspective. It helps with problem solving because, you know, sometimes we get stuck in our own minds and we feel very alone in our challenges. But when you collaborate with somebody, it allows a fresh mindset, a fresh set of experiences, fresh background, a fresh approach. And there's just so many benefits to having somebody else on your team, so to speak. It's good for moral support too, you know, because as I would have mentioned earlier, the entrepreneurship journey is pretty hard at times. So it's good to collaborate. And one of the benefits about it is that you get to reach a new audience. So not just collaboration, but strategic collaboration, where you collaborate with somebody whose audience aligns with your audience, or whose audience is an audience that you want to reach out to for whatever strategic reason.
I get that.
So it's good to choose who you collaborate with wisely. It's good to put down the parameters, you know, because sometimes we just get excited and we go into a collaboration without first determining how are we going to split the benefits of the project that we create, without determining who's going to do what of the work, you know, because sometimes people just collaborate and they just assume the other person is going to do that thing and it never gets done, and then projects fail. So you don't want that. So to avoid the downside, I think, and the potential falling out of people, it's good to definitely set the rules up front and then go from there.
Okay, so the reason why I thought it would be a good idea to talk to you about this kind of thing in terms of being an entrepreneur specifically is because a lot of the things tie in to starting like a YouTube channel. So like it's becoming a bigger thing in Barbados now than previously.
Yes.
I have a lot of friends who are actually interested in it. Like I meet people who say they want to do it, they want to start, but they don't know, they're not sure, whatever the case is. And like I've been there, so I know what that's like. And also like starting with my photography business, I've been there with that as well.
Right.
So I know how it goes. But I want you to, what would you say to those people who want to start but they haven't yet? But from your perspective as an entrepreneur, because it still ties in, it's still similar. It's not necessarily a business, it could eventually turn into one. But the amount of work that you still have to put into it, that mindset is required. So what would you say to like my friends Tiffany or my fitness soon-to-be guru friend Shanice Mason? What's up? Like, what would you say to people like that to get them started? Like, what do you think they need?
They need so many things. The first thing that they need is support from their friends, right? So I want to say a big shout out to Tiffany and Shanice for even having the ideas, for even being brave enough to express, hey, I have this idea in me and I want to do this thing. So a big shout out to all the creative people, all the entrepreneurs out there who took the first step by identifying that you have an idea. That is a brave thing to do, because it's a vulnerable space to be in. You know, you're putting your idea out there into the world for it to either successful or for it to flop. And you know, we all have egos, so the first thing that we do need is, you know, a little support and encouragement from our friends. So that actually goes a long way. What else do they need? They need to get over their need for perfection. And I say that because we all want to do things well. We all want to look good while we're pursuing our dream. We don't ever want it to fail. You know, we don't want to ever look like a failure or feel like a failure, quote unquote. But the truth is that life is a journey, and we can never reach that place of success without taking the first step of just starting. Like, what's the very first thing you could do to start? Whether it's starting with your cell phone. If you don't have equipment, you know, you put down all the things that you need to get and the timeline for like when you think you can get them by. But just start today with whatever you have, you know. Just start with what you have, the tools you have, instead of holding yourself back. The key is to start, because you learn, you grow, and you'll get better.
I totally agree with that, because I heard this quote, I'm not sure who it's from, but they talk about like done is better than perfect.
Of course. Progress, not perfection.
Yeah, progress, not perfection, because when you develop that consistency and you're doing the thing, even if it's not perfect, you will get to that level where you can then allow yourself to be a perfectionist, because seeking perfection won't take as long, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because in the beginning, you're new to whatever it is you're trying to pursue, so you're now learning things. You haven't developed a workflow as yet. You haven't developed a schedule. So I believe in that. I totally agree with you when it comes to just getting your feet wet, in a sense, and just jumping in, because if you don't do it now, then when are you going to do it?
Yeah, I want to add something to that too, which is the notion of the perfection thing. The fact remains that I think we have to give ourselves enough grace to fail and to be okay with that, because there's nothing in life that we will experience that we don't fail at some part of it. So this whole notion that, you know, we have to aim for perfection, I think it's really just an ego thing, and it's our culture that's built around perfectionism, whether it's in beauty, whether it's in the workplace. There's so many aspects of our culture that really push the notion of being perfect, and it's really, really unhealthy, because it causes us to hurt ourselves trying to attain this unachievable thing, which is perfection, you know. So instead of aiming for perfection at the early stages or at any stage at all, my thing is to give ourselves grace to grow, and to give ourselves the grace to understand that we are all, like, no matter how old you are, we are all learning and growing in some way every single day. So if we give ourselves that grace and we stop judging ourselves so hard, then we will enjoy each part of the journey, as opposed to trying to do this thing so well that we stop ourselves from ever starting. Because, you know, you don't want to live with regrets. You know, just start and be okay with knowing that it's not always going to be great, but putting it out is better than not putting out anything at all.
I totally agree with that. I get that. So you heard it. You know what to do. So get started.
Started, people. And you know what helps as well? Following people who inspire you. So it could be people who inspire you in your particular field, or people who inspire you just because they exist. So one of the people that I look up to a lot is Marie Forleo. She's on YouTube. She has a channel called Marie TV, and she talks about the entrepreneur journey from a very, very real place. So she talks about things like perfectionism. We talk about burnout, managing burnout. We talk about things like how to say no, how to balance being kind with being firm. You know, things that especially creative people struggle with, because, you know, our minds could be so much into the art and not with the other side, the business side. So she really brings it home in a very palatable way. So yeah, follow people who make the journey easier and help you to not feel alone, so that you could actually feel comfortable with just starting and getting out there.
Here you go. All the sand, the salt still on me. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that little video. I made it specifically for people who were basically looking to start their own YouTube channel or a business or whatever the case is, but, you know, they're holding off for various reasons, which honestly are not reasons to be holding off. You should just get into it or whatever. So, you know, if you like to, just leave a like, comment, subscribe if you're into my stuff. You are guaranteed to pretty much see a video from me every single Sunday. So yeah, peace.